Hey everyone, it's Jen. Thank you for joining me today. Today I thought I would start a little series on card making. Um, I've been making cards for the past few years, and that's what I started doing, paper crafting. I love to make cards because they're a practical thing to make. You can make them for anyone, any occasion, from, your husband to the mailman or whatever. And you can personalize them depending on their interests or, what colors they like or how old they are, that kind of thing. And they're a small size too. So, you can start a project and finish it anywhere from, 10 minutes to an hour or two, depending on how complex you make it. So that's why I really like to make cards. And also, maybe I'll make my dad a more ornate card than I would to somebody who I know is just gonna, take it and throw it in the recycling. So, you can just there are so many possibilities for card making. And since I've been paper crafting, I've realized that a lot of my fellow crafters are not into card making. They just don't like it. They don't know where to start, or they just need some help. So this video is meant for anyone from beginning paper crafters to paper crafters who just want some pointers about how to improve their cards or just to get inspiration. So this is part one of my series, and this is beginning card making. And I'm making this one beginning because I'm only going to use simple supplies that are easily available, and no die cutting, no embossing, no stamping, nothing like that. So yeah, I think this will be fun. I'm going to make this the beginning version. I'm going to make an intermediate card making video next week, and then the week after will be advanced card making. So yeah, I'm glad you're here, and let's start. Okay, so I wanted to use a paper pad that is readily available. And this is currently, when I'm filming this video, this one is currently available at Michael's. Michael's has what they call hot buy paper pads, and they're seasonal paper pads in their scrapbooking section. And frequently they're on sale, or so make sure if you buy these, they're on sale or you have a coupon. And I like these because all the papers coordinate. So you basically can't go wrong when you're mixing and matching the different papers. So if you're a beginning card maker, you might feel overwhelmed with all the gazillion choices of papers that are out there when you want to make a greeting card. So these are great to, kind of condense down your choices, and everything will still look really nice once you get it put together. What else I like to use is wet glue. This is also readily available. I got this at Michael's. This is Beacon Advanced Craft Glue 3-in-1. It dries crystal clear, and I like it because it does not make your paper warp. There are some glues out there, especially like, school glues, that once they dry, your paper kind of ripples. This does not do that. It does have an odor. It bothers some people, but I don't really care. So I think it's fine. And it also gives you a little bit of dry time so you can adjust your papers if, they're not perfect as soon as you put them down. Also, a good pair of scissors. I have this huge pair that I like to use. What I like to use instead of scissors most of the time is a paper trimmer. And these you can get, I think this one they actually have at Walmart. You put your paper in here and it cuts a straight line, and you extend the arm out and you can measure all the way up to 16 or 15 inches. And this is 12 inches. So you can fit a full sheet of scrapbooking paper in here and cut it down to the size you need. You don't have to worry about uneven lines or anything like that. So I recommend that as a very important tool. If you don't have a paper trimmer, you don't want to get one, that's fine. Just use your scissors and a ruler. The next tool on my list is foam mounting tape, and this you can get at the Dollar Tree. And this is little rectangles of double-sided tape, and there's a little layer of foam in between. And this gives a little bit of lift and dimension to your projects. And I'll show you a couple of examples with and without this, and you'll see why foam mounting tape is a very important part of my card making anyway. Something also I like to use, but it's not as important, is a bone folder. And they come in different versions. Here's a small one, here's a large one, and this kind. This is a Martha Stewart one that I think I got at Michael's. These are We Are Memory Keepers. These are all widely available. If these aren't at Michael's or other craft stores, there are other ones. They're called bone folders because long ago they used to be made out of bone, but right now they're plastic. Anyway, these smooth your fold lines and makes a nice crisp edge to make them really look professional, or just really well done. So another important tool, I believe. If you don't have these, you can use anything that has like a straight edge that's kind of heavy that you could just smooth down your paper. Okay, and again with paper, I like to use these big paper pads to make my cards. For the card bases, that's the part that you glue your card front to, which would be like this. This one I just made myself. And to make a card base, it's very easy. This size card is called an A2, and it's 4 1/4 long by 5 1/2 high, or vice versa, whatever. And the reason this size is so convenient is this is just an 8 1/2 by 11-inch piece of paper cut in half, and then you fold it. So that's an A2 size. And you can buy cardstock like this anywhere. This I got at Walmart, and this is Astro Bright's Premium Smooth cardstock, and it's 65 pound. 65 pound is a good weight for your cardstock. You can also find it at Michael's. This is an example of a paper pack that they have. They have all different colors, all different varieties. You could just get white, or you can get different colors like this is. This is also 65 pound, which just means the thickness of the paper. And here's another one I just wanted to bring over to show you. This one has like all different like candy colors. So this 65 pound is a nice medium weight for your card bases. All right, so those are the tools, and let's get to trying to make a card. Okay, I wanted to show you some examples of some simple cards I've made. This one is also an A2 size card that I made with a paper pad that I got from Michael's. It's called Silent Night. It's a pastel Christmas paper pad. And what I did was I just cut out this image, which is, it's called a cut apart in the scrapbooking paper pad. It's on a page that has lots of different images, and you just use your paper trimmer or your scissors to cut out a large image. So I did that. Then I took a coordinating paper from the same paper pad and cut it out a little bit bigger, and I glued the first one onto the second one. Then I cut out a third paper to the size of the card front. So it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and glued that to the card front with everything on top of it. So that's a really pretty card. Everything coordinates, of course, because they, came from the same paper pad. But this one does not have any dimension. You can see it's very flat. And, it's pretty, but it's not very exciting. Let me show you what it looks like if you add some mounting tape. So this is the example with tape. And you can see it just brings it to life. Let me show you. It adds like height to each of the different layers. I added the mounting tape, if you can see, between the first and second layer and the second and third layer. And, they're just easy to peel off and stick to the back of your paper and then stick it to the card. Another thing that I did to make this more of a substantial card is each layer I lined with some of that white cardstock, some of that white 65 pound cardstock that I showed you. I just cut it to the same size, and then glued them together before I stuck them onto the layer below with the foam tape. So there's the top layer is actually 2 layers. The middle layer is 2 layers. It's the pattern paper with the white paper. And then the third layer is the pattern paper on top of this pink card base. So it makes it feel nicer, a more substantial card. I just think it looks much better. I like how this looks, and it's fine, especially if you're going to mail something that you want really flat. This would be fine. But I do think that the mounting tape really brings it to life, and that's a great tool to have. So there are those two. Here's another example using the mounting tape. This one, I used another paper pad. This is not from this year from Michaels. It's from a different year, but it was called like Red and White Christmas, I think. But there's a similar one out there this year called Peppermint Christmas, I believe. But anyway, I did a cut apart like I did in this one. So it was just this wreath image. This word peace also comes from Michaels. It's in a pre-packed, let me just get it out. I'll show you something. It came in this, which is in the Christmas paper crafting section. And this is a pack of die cut shapes. It comes with 12 joys and 12 peace. So all you do is glue one of these onto your card front. So I used my wet 3-in-1 glue and glued it right on top there. So I think that looks really nice. You don't need a die cutting machine or anything to make that. It's just pre-made for you. This one has a bunch of layers, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different layers. And I raised each one up on foam tape. I backed each one with white cardstock paper. And these all came from the same paper pad, so you know that they coordinate. When you're picking the papers to go together, I've been a quilter for a long time, and I'm used to picking out fabrics and putting them together. So I think that's why I like putting papers together too. So I'll go with like, a solid color, and then I'll go to something that has a little bit more texture to it. And then I'm thinking after I put those two together, I needed something a little light. So I went to a lighter pattern in the paper pack. And then I went to just like a really soft one, just to kind of break up all the different loud patterns. And then the back one kind of brings them all together with the white, the gray, and the red. So I think, you can put them together, of course, any way you want. But that's just my thought process when I put these together. And this is a larger card. This one is about 6 by 6. It's pretty thick, so you couldn't send this in regular mail, but if you're sending a box of, Christmas presents to somebody, this can easily be, added to that box. Okay, and my last example is this card, and this is from the Save Freeze paper pad at Michaels. And this one was very simple to do. It just has 2 layers. This is not a cut apart. This is one of the big layout pages, and I just cut out a piece that I thought would look nice on a card front. So the snowman with the glitter on it, the truck behind it, that was all part of this paper. I added a few things. I added these snowflake stickers, and then I added this sticker, which is a little squirrel on a sign. And I think they went really well. I got those from some sticker packs that I had. Let's see. From this. This I had gotten at Dollar Tree last year, I believe. But they come out with things like this every year. So yeah, I just took a couple of them and added them to the little scene, and I think it really brings it to life. I backed it on thicker paper and also popped it up on some foam tape, just 1 layer. And then I added, for the card front, I added a pretty pattern paper from the same paper pad that I think brings all the different colors together that are on the front. And since this is mostly light colors, I wanted to go with a darker color for the back just to set it off and give it some contrast. So yeah, this is, just to show you what you can do for some simple cards for current paper pads, but simple, but still that you would be proud to send out, like I would totally give these to, people this year, and I plan to. And you know, it doesn't look like a kid made them. It looks like you still put some time into it, but you don't need a lot of different tools to make them. All right, so now we are going to make a card together. Okay, to start, I'm going to make a card base, and you can purchase card bases pre-made already. That's, you know, perfectly fine. They sell those at all sorts of craft stores, but I just like to make them because they're so easy to make. So this is my 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I put it into my paper trimmer up to the 5.5 line, which is half of 11, and then just go ahead and cut it in half. So there you have 2 card bases. And this is where I use my bone folder. So I'll take out my Martha Stewart one. So we just need one right now. So you just fold it in half and just gently crease it with your hands. And then go ahead and take your bone folder and smooth out the crease. So it's a nice sharp crease. Okay, so we're ready with that. Let's get out the paper pad that we're going to use, which is the Starry Night one. And I already cut out one of the cut-aparts. And this one says Peace in gold foiling, and it has a wreath around it. And I did cut out a separate piece of cardstock for the same size, white cardstock, and glued it to the back. And this makes it nice and thick and substantial. It's not going to like flop around or anything like that. So let me just show you what I mean by cut apart page. Let me find one in here. Okay, well, these are cut apart tags. So you would use your paper trimmer or scissors to cut out all the tags. And the cut apart pages are the same exact thing. Here's another page of cut aparts. You use your paper trimmer or scissors to cut out all the different elements. And I think I might have taken out the cut apart page. Probably when I was cutting it apart. Yeah, I don't see either one of them. Okay, but anyway, I got that from a cut apart page. And then, okay, so I'm going to do 2 different layers on this one. I'm going to have a backing of this and then a pretty printed paper, pattern paper to cover the card base. So I picked this one out for the background layer because it's darker than this one. So it has a light and a dark together, but it also has some gold foiling on it too, which mirrors the gold foiling in the piece, right? So I think that looks really nice. And with the stars, it really gives you that peaceful vibe as well. So what we're going to do together is pick out the printed paper or pattern paper for the card base. So obviously we don't want to go too dark. Let me zoom in a little because this layer is going to be dark. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the different papers and we could see what ones we like best. White would be nice, except this one has dots on it, and so does this one. So I think that's too many dots together. So I would skip that one. This is a big layout page. I'm not going to use that. This one is also too similar to the one in front of it, so I wouldn't use that. Here are some cut aparts. These are 6 by 6 cut aparts. Not going to use those. This one, I love this paper, but it does not go at all. You could see it just competes with the gold star one. So I'm not going to use that. Not that one either. Way too dark. This one is a possibility. Okay. It's white, so it's lighter. So you'd have a mid-tone, a dark tone, and a lighter tone. But it has some pretty pattern on it too. And these ones are pretty plain, so I think that would look really nice. All right. Yeah, let's do that one. So I'm going to take out the paper and move the paper pad over. And then we are going to cut this to size. So we know that our card front is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Let me zoom back out so you can see. Okay. And this page, let's see, you want to keep in mind the orientation of your page. So it doesn't really matter on this one which way is up, but I'm thinking that this way should be up. So I'm going to cut this one by 5.5 this way. Okay. So there we go. 5.5. And then the other side will be 4.25. Oh, sorry. Bump my tripod. Always do that. All right, so we'll measure out to 4.25. Make sure it's nice and flush against the edge up here. Go ahead and cut. So this is the size of your card front. Okay, and I like to put the whole card front together before I glue it to the base. All right, so now we have our 3 elements, and it's going to look like this. So I think that's very pretty, a nice peaceful card. Again, let me zoom in. Okay, so let's get out the mounting tape. I have some open already, so I'm just going to grab that. This is all I have left of my previous one. All right, so you take your first piece, and I like to put one on each corner. And then depending on how big it is, how many more you do. I'm just going to put one more in the middle. And then, you know, you could use your nails or whatever just to remove the little paper on the back of that. Just take them all off. Okay, this is just my little tool-in-one that always comes in handy. Okay, so now we have it all sticky on the back. We're going to take our paper, see which side is up. I think this one, because the star looks like that. Okay, and you're just going to line it up. Don't press it down until you're sure where you want it, because this is really sticky, this tape. And just make sure it's pretty even all around. Okay, and then smooth it down. So there you go. Nice and raised up. Now we're going to do the same thing to this layer. Take my stickies, put one on each corner, and I'm really running low. All right, I'm just going to open the other one. Hang on. Okay, got the other one open, so I'm going to take, I tend to kind of overdo it for the foam tape, but I like it to be really nice and secure. So I'm going to add a whole bunch. You do want to add more than you think, though, just to make it more stable. So, all right, so that's the amount that I put on the back. That's just the way I do it. If you want to add less, that is fine. Sometimes I think I do too much, but whatever. These rolls last for quite a long time, and they're only $1, so I feel that the difference it makes to my cards is worth the minimal expense to them. And they have, you know, foam tape lots of places, but I think the best value, and it's a really good product, at the Dollar Tree. So, oops. Okay, so we've got those off. And we're going to stick this to the front of our card now. All right, again, just make sure you have it the right way. This one doesn't matter at all. So we're just going to put it right in the middle on this one to make a simple but effective card. So pretty, right? And then we'll take that card base that we made and put some glue, wet glue, on this. And this is how I apply it. You want to make sure you do it evenly. I just kind of like squeeze gently and bounce it around my card front, card base front, and then just like kind of zigzag in the middle a little bit. You don't want it to like be coming up from any of the edges, because that'll annoy you. All right, then you take your card front that you made, put it on your card base. And this is where the little bit of extended dry time comes in handy, because you can go around and just kind of slide it. If you get any on your fingers, just go like that. It'll come off. And then just press it down, you know, on your desk or wherever, just to make sure it's sticking everywhere. And then you have a beautiful, peaceful card, right? It's got the pretty snowflakes on it with the stars and then a nice wreath. And I just think it's lovely. I would be proud to send this, even though I didn't use any fancy equipment or anything to make it, you know, just a little bit of design and just a little bit of planning. And I think it came out really nice. So, yeah, that's my little, you know, intro to card making lesson for today. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer them if I can. Next time, I'm going to be doing an intermediate card making video. This one will have some more tools, mixing different elements, and yeah, just a little more complicated, but nothing we can't handle. So, all right, thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment, and I'm so glad you're here. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll be back soon with another crafty video. Bye, guys.